Yeah,
we live.
And we're live.
And we're live. And good morning.
Oh, we finally went after 9 o'clock. Okay. We was over here having a show and forgot to push live.
Why did we think we was live, y'all? It looked live. It looked like we was live. And then because it takes time for people to tune in, we're not used to automatically seeing numbers as soon as we get to talking. But we're really live now, y'all.
We are live.
Y'all missed 10 minutes of talk.
Oh, man.
We love. The birds are chirping. Good morning to you. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations. This is Monday, my Sabbath. Do I look like a Sabbath type of mood? I'm feeling zen.
You feeling zen?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Shout out. Today is my boo, my hubby. 44th birthday. Shout out to Chef Ron in the building.
It's your birthday.
We gon' party like it's your birthday.
Gonna sip a party like
it's your birthday.
Cause you know we don't give up.
Cause it's your birthday. Now, let me tell y'all, if y'all have not purchased y'all tickets for the comedy show, first of all, at the door, it's going to be $30. And there's a certain amount of seats that we can. So it's $20 right now, which includes star-studded comedy event, okay? Actually, one of the comedians that's coming is, first of all, Jawan Cap and his comedy show, his comedy team. He's been doing amazing things, and so definitely reached out to him. At the end of the day, I think it's really about laughter at this age, right? Laughter and releasing and just getting past those different points in our life. Oh yeah, we gotta keep on. So at 44, what better time to laugh and enjoy and really don't sweat the small stuff. At this age, you gotta know better, because honey, it's called the process.
Please.
And we're headed to the promise. So listen, it is going to be a comedy event. You hear me?
Yes.
Matter of fact, let me pull up the link so I can read it out loud.
Tickets is $20 in advance. $20 in advance. Cash App, $ One Bite Catering. Right? Just One Bite Catering.
Yep. $ One Bite Catering.
And just put your first and last name so that he could know who's the ticket for. Because
we will have somebody giving out. The braces came in. So braces will be given at the door. So the list is being made. And like we said, because it's not as big as the first place we was going to have, we don't have all them seating. So please don't mess around and hope that you can get it on the day of. Because don't be like, I know y'all, this ain't our building. We had to rent the building. All of this is not ours, okay? This is just a celebration in which we all are going to go out for the night. And so a $20 night out where you're going to get comedians. Oh, and don't forget, listen, one of my favorites that we got is Tina Marie. She is freaking hilarious. When I say hilarious,
oh my God!
So we have a bunch of men, but we got one woman.
Come on,
we gotta have a woman. We have to have a queen in the building, and so she is definitely. So we have Tina Marie, Ethan Biggs, EJ Nonstop, and Jawan Cap. So those are the comedians for the night. It is April 1st. It is April Fool's Day type of jam, and don't worry, we're gonna be there. That ain't the joke.
Right.
We will be there. Now, the question is, will you be there? So it's going to be at 2923 South Tryon Street. Remember, the tickets are $20 for advance, $30 at the door. That ain't no joke. That ain't no lie. That's how it's going to fly.
Get your tickets, because like we said, it's a limited seating, limited area. So I would say spend the $20 to get your ticket so we can have that head count.
That part.
What do you mean
we? Yeah, we. Tell them. It's your cousin too. So Kia got her ticket. She's the first person that bought tickets. So she's not just
I already know how big of a crowd they be having. Yeah. So Ron is the man. He is the GOAT. Okay? Yeah. He got plenty of friends. Okay?
Yeah.
So you got to get your ticket. Because if you think you coming at that door for $30, you're going to be in surprise.
Mhm.
Now, come on if you ain't get your ticket so we could see if we could get you in. But I'm telling you, get that ticket for $20. Cash App, One Bite Catering.
Yeah, Diamond knew he in Raleigh. He said,
Come
send
on
it.
now.
Send it.
He all the way in Raleigh
He ain't
driving.
playing.
So that's
Yeah,
why I'm
he
telling
driving
y'all,
in.
don't wait to be just coming surprised at no door, because you might get a surprise. You
might
want to
get a
be in the
surprise.
building, send that $20 to
And I ain't even working the
One
door
Bite
because
Catering.
I don't want to see y'all face looking like, I'm not even
I
going to be
can't
at
get
the
in,
door.
but
Look,
please, come on,
I'm not even
you
at the
shoulda got
door.
your ticket.
I'm going to be over there by the bar. So it will be a cash bar available.
By the bar.
I'll be by the bar. There will be a cash bar available as well as hors d'oeuvres. So hors d'oeuvres will be provided. And then, you can get yourself a drink at the bar if you choose to, or juice, whatever that is. But honey, we're going to have a good time because that's what we do. Every time we get together, we laugh. And so what better thing than to have laughter? We're going to get Chef Ron a debut. I'm still talking him into debuting a little comedy because he is so funny.
He crazy.
Yes. So he'll debut, and he's turning 44, so it's the 8 new beginnings, right? So this is a new beginning for him. So the year of the 844. I love it. So yeah, hope to see you guys out there. Good morning, Mama.
One Bite Catering.
Blessings to you. Yes, $ One Bite Catering. Put your name, get your tickets. You see that? Get your tickets for Chef Ron birthday comedy show this Saturday coming up for only $20 in advance or $30 at the door. Send it to $One Bite Catering. And again, don't forget to put your name in the comment slot so that we'll know who. So when you come to the door, depending on what, they'll have your name and the amount of tickets that you ordered. So that is that. How was your weekend, though? I've had a great weekend. A great, great, great weekend. I was out and about. Actually, I did an event on Friday and Sunday.
Yes, honey. Yes.
So
getting them minds together.
Yes. I did a vibe and worship. And it was amazing. What's the name of the SDA 7-day event is? I think it's the Southeast End one. Let me see. Did I keep the paper in here?
It was an awesome.
I mean,
event.
it was so amazing.
Vibe and worship, honey. They vibed out and had some worship up
Yeah,
there.
it's a Northeast one. So, 7-day Adventists, they have so many ministries, so many different churches. There's a whole unit of them as a whole. And the Northeast one had a vibe and worship, which was amazing. They do it, I think every other month. And it's on Friday. And so it's just...
Did they put you in that rotation, girl?
In a rotation. So we had some artists come in, 2 twin sisters, and now the twin sisters had their daughters that was like in 9th grade and 11th grade, super cute, that was there, that now became their chorus. Shall you say your backup singers or in between singers? So both of the sisters, both of the twins, each had a daughter. And so it was them coming back home too, because, they had been practicing in their gift, singing, and they have some actually albums and stuff like that out. And so they came back home and they were a part of it. And so they were amazing, 2 sisters. And then, of course, I did some prophetic poetry. So I wrote a poem called Vibe and Worship just for the event. So, I'm skilled like that. I write a poem just for the event. But when I was writing the poem, I did want to share that when I was writing the poem, because it was vibe and worship, and I like to break down the words and know the real definitions, I looked up the word war, W-O-R. And that stands for hour. And then so worship is our ship. So when you think about life and the waters and the troubles that we go through, right? Being on a ship is what is it? Means of transportation bigger than a boat to get you from one end of the part of the sea to the other.
Right.
And so, of course, I had to play with that because now you're talking about a boat.
Down the words,
you know that we're going through troubled waters. So God said, you have a ship because your worship is your ship. And if the ship is the thing that gets you through the waters, right? The ocean, the sea, right? Because then you think about the sea and it's like what you see, right? So if our worship, right? If our ship gets us across the sea, then our vibe on the ship helps us when we see what we see, right? So it allows you to get over the things in life when you think about it, because the things you see,
just
right?
Roll with the punch.
You roll with the punch.
Waves.
That part.
Just go with the waves. Don't go against it. Just go with it.
Go with it. Vibe with it, right? Because it's what you see. So if the ship gets you over the sea, then how you operate your vibe, right? Your energy, right? Because I say God is the vibe and faith is his vibration. So if you're not vibing in a faithful vibration, then it's hard for you to maneuver that boat. Come on, through the sea, right? Through the things that you see. And so you feel like you stuck because troubled waters always come. But he said, but I gave you worship. I gave y'all a ship to get you through the troubles, depending on how your vibe is, right? So worship is your ship. So don't tell me you stuck when I gave you a ship to get you past what you see. Come on now.
Lean that's with a word. It, rock with it, lean with it, rock with it, lean with it, rock with
it.
I know I'm
Come on, so you
all
know.
I can see is you going with the time, right? Don't go against the time. Go with the flow.
Go with the flow, baby.
Lean with it, rock with it.
Because you already got your ship.
Whoa.
So that was interesting. Whoa. That's why I love looking up words.
Yes.
It's my new favorite thing to do.
You got to break it down.
Shout out to William Brown with One Word Conversation. This is set a phenomenon in me that is like, good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Afe.
Good morning. So yes, definitely is important that we understand the words that we are using, because the power is in the words.
Don't just say words. Understand what
you're saying. The meaning behind it, because again, the way words were introduced to you is how you operate in them, how you feel, how it holds you. That's why I often say, depending on who a daddy was to you, would depend what that word daddy means, or what mommy means, or what sister means, or what best friend means, depending on how the people who had that role and title in your life, depending on how they operated, gives you either the trauma of excitement or the trauma of fear, right? So you either got faith in a relationship or you got fear in a relationship. And it's all about based on your experience. So when you realize that your job is to worship through it, you can get to the other side of what you see. Good God Almighty. When you realize that your job is to worship our ship, I got a means of transportation, but my vibe on that ship is going to decide the condition I am when I arrive to the other side. So I know you see this and it looks glim. Wow. I know you've been molested and I know it looks like you ain't gonna never make it through. But let me tell you, your worship, your vibe on that ship is the condition you're gonna be in when you get on the other side. You're gonna be able to be a speaker. You're gonna be able to be a healer. You're gonna be able to be a teacher. Because your worship is how you get over. So worship is just our ship. So I just want to ask you, what's going on your ship? How are you worshiping on your ship? What is the vibe, right? How are you acting on your ship? And so that took me to a whole nother level. Yes, honey. So when I was writing that poem, I was like, yes. So you could catch the replay. Rondell definitely recorded me sharing the poem.
Jacob said he just looked at your video.
Thank you. Yes.
Information.
Yes.
Powerful and informative.
Yes, honey. So that's that part. So it's like the more we study, it's a study to show thyself approved, right? And so back when I was 14, 15, 17, 18, 20, I could just, whatever God gave me, I'm going to write. But now it's like I want to dig deeper because he gives you clarity, right? And so when you understand what the message is, then the clarity of the words is just like it flows, because God, that's how God flows through you when you allow him to, when you become that vessel. So remember, the ship is the vessel of transportation that gets you across, and you are the vibe on the ship, right? And so as long as I have my ship, it all determines my vibe. So what the F is your mustard seed? We always gonna go back there.
See, that's one thing I'm gonna tell y'all about Apostle Precious Paul, and she gonna make it make sense. You know how you say you be calculating and you be like, hold up, this math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing.
She gonna make the message crystal clear, and she's gonna bring it from a whole broke down perspective where your mind ain't even ready for it. Because you thinking the way you thinking and seeing it the way you seeing it, but by the time she get up there and break it down, you done been like, wow.
I didn't
the
think
way
about
you
it
broke
like
it down and never thought about it like that. And so that's the most powerful gift she has, you know, being, you know, recognized and being anointed. Like, listen, I don't need you to be a pastor. I don't need you to be a preacher. I just need you to be an apostle so that you could break down, because she does that anyway. You know what I mean? It's a gift within her that God gave her, so that anybody who hears her, is around her, they know that she's going to make it make sense. That is the gift
and
she
it drives
has.
my husband crazy when I be trying to make it make sense.
It drives everybody crazy. It ain't just
when you
the
the
husband.
victim, when you
It's gonna be
on the other
everybody that
side.
comes in contact, because y'all already know what you gonna get. You gonna get a broke down of whatever it is we talking about. And so you need to just sit down and listen, okay? She can't help it.
I can't help it.
She
I be
can't
trying to
help
help it. I swear I be
She
trying to
can't help it.
I gotta hide in the corner. I'm like, I need to
Right,
be
and she
quiet.
be dying
Sit
and
over
burning
there
to talk
and be
because
quiet.
it's who she is. She can't help it, y'all. But if you know her, you know that. So you don't take
You are so
nothing
funny.
from it, you know.
Why you got me laughing over here?
Apostle, you can't help it. So
Gotta say something, don't you, girl?
you gotta say something to break it down. Be like, I see what you're saying, but let me dig a little deeper. Okay? Let me spin it around for you so you can see this perspective. It's all in the perspective.
Perspective with the pause, I tell you. And I learned going back and forth with Chef Rob, right? It's like, wait, that ain't what I was saying. Well, that ain't what I was saying. Well, guess what? But we need a bridge. God be the bridge.
See what I'm saying?
Lord, would you be the bridge?
But you know what? You be like, we need a bridge. We need something that's going to connect how we both trying to hear each other. See?
We need a bridge.
We need a bridge.
Lord, be the bridge. Be the bridge to troubled waters, honey. Now we know we got to worship. Oh, I'm going to use that word so much more different now.
Worship.
It's so powerful. I was like, wow. Our ship. Nobody said it was our ship.
Our ship.
But
yes,
ship was true. On the end, so we should have known that.
On face, I'm like, yes, that is
so true. Share the knowledge through words. Intimate, right? Christ Jesus. Imitate Christ Jesus is the call. That part. Being his vessel. He said, and being greater, right? Being greater, speaking greater. Yes, and what is our topic? Because, honey, we'll be
like it's Friday hot topics.
But I just wanted to say I had an amazing weekend, and I did the mother-daughter tea party. Yeah. I will post that video.
But listen, y'all, it spent off. So she was just doing something on Friday, and when she showed up,
when I got off the stage,
something else opened up for her. And what was that?
They was doing a mother-daughter tea party on Sunday. It was so beautiful. And I was asked to come back and do if I could share a poem if I was available, and I was like, it was Sunday at 10, so normally my Sunday early be open. So I said I'll do. They was like, I know it's last minute, but please. And I was like, yeah. So like I said, what good is a gift if you're not present with it, right? And so because I had nothing to do, God gave me something to do, and it was so powerful. So I got out there, and one of the queens, Rena Cooper from Chicago, gave an amazing testimony digitally now. So this new world we live in ain't no excuses. They had the room set up. It was beautiful. And the key speaker was on the daggone screen, baby. Coming in from Chicago, right? Because God said, let me tell you something. That's why I say the internet is God. It's omnipresent. He is whatever you want him to be, because we are examples of God. And so the internet allows you to reproduce. Could you imagine? Back in the day, Jesus was getting followed around like he was a daggone, paparazzi would have been considered following him if we associate modern time to back then, right? They was going to seek him out. That was with no internet. Look how far he reached with no internet. So it's like, use the powers for good, because if you get up on hand, speak his name and be the evidence, guess how many people get to see you? You get one sheep over there, because your voice is assigned to somebody. And when you open your mouth and stop being dumb, right? Because dumb means to be mute, speechless, without a voice, then somebody doesn't get to hear you, because sound gets your attention.
Puts it out there.
It puts it out here. So I can say, hey, and you could turn around, right? So I was just telling, right? Who is that? So that's the idea. The idea is to realize that the word says that he will lead all. You know why he can lead the crowd of y'all to go get one sheep? Because he can see y'all from a mile away. A crowd of people going can't get lost. But one can get lost in the source, right? So I'm going to go get my sheep. That one that's lost, because if there's one lost, guess what? There's somebody lost behind that one. So if I go get them and bring them in, the people that are attached to them are going to come with them, if that makes sense, because it's a relay race. And so if you're lost and you get found, then the person that was lost around you going to get found too. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why he's not concerned about the group of y'all doing it all right. Good for y'all. How many people stop to go get the person who was lost in the source? That's your job. Your job is for the people that don't know, not the people that's already in the system.
All the people that don't need to go.
They following the crowd. They're going to follow the crowd, complaining, being holy, do all that. But go find them lost sheep, because them lost sheep matter. Luke 4:18.
Somebody to help them get back to the right spot. Yes, Aunt Faye, she clapping. Hallelujah.
Hands up.
Come on, Jacob.
Let's see what Jacob says. Yep.
Jacob said, we had an awesome time at church on yesterday. It was our church annual friends and family. A packed house we worshiped. We cried, we rejoiced. The pastor of the afternoon spoke on your old self is still inside you.
God,
protect your energy, because the old you will come on out. How do you conduct yourself from the worldly ways of destruction? We all have assignment in us, but we all must be righteous like Peter. Come on now.
That is the power.
That was a good sermon now. I like that.
Dig deep.
Yesterday was deep. Okay.
And it's still inside, because that is the assignment, right? It's the stuff you went through that made you who you are. That is the thing that connects you to somebody else. It is the thing that humanizes you and makes other people feel like they belong, right? God is about making you feel like there is room for you here. And if I make it impossible, see, when we talk about our promise, we make it seem impossible. But when we talk about our process, we show that all things are possible. And many people speak out of their promise, which makes other people feel like they can never get there. But if you spoke about the process you was in before you got to the promise, nobody would doubt God. Nobody would doubt him, right? Because now it's the evidence, that part.
You was doing that, and
yes,
this is where you at now, and you was homeless in the car, and you was abused. Like, what? Oh, I could do this.
I gave my life to Jesus, and he gave a brand new life to me. Come on now. He wants you to sing that. That's it, right?
Come on now.
Renewing your mind daily. That's what it's all about.
Your mind.
But our topic today is about what? Modern?
Are modern idols good, or should we avoid them? The modern idols. Think about the modern idols of today we have. Do you think it's good, or should we just avoid them? Period. I mean, think about the idols we used to have, right? Because that's why I was just telling Precious.
I mean, we ain't had a Martin or a daggone Malcolm X in some time now.
Right. Like, just think about what did we have. We didn't have social media. We didn't have the internet. So we had the doctor. We had the lawyer. The blue collar worker. Right? What do you want to do when you get older, right? It sure wasn't being an influencer, because we ain't know nothing about that. Right? Our times is different. But the kids nowadays, they like, shoot, we could go. We don't need no college. We gonna press the button. We gonna get on the social media, let the camera follow us, tell our just everyday life, and people gonna watch it. Hell, we could mukbang. Might go get some crab legs, and they're gonna let everybody
watch us eat it. It's a whole nother world.
Because people are nosy, and people want to be entertained, and so they will watch it, right?
Yeah.
So those are modern idols, like we was talking about. Who?
It's a microwavable world. the modern, back in our time, our idols were clearly Big Mama's cooking, right? Because it took time. The process seemed to be longer. Now we have 21-year-olds that are multi-millionaires, and normally you didn't get that level until about your 40s or 50s, right? So when we're thinking about modern idols, like the speed of lightning is that microwavable sense, because we have the ability to be able to, I think that's the one we just read. We have the ability to be able to grow. You know what I mean? We have the ability to be able to actually see what they say exponentially, the growth that takes place in the new modern world. And so it can give a false sense of reality and work ethic, right? Which takes away from your worth ethic, right? And so the modern idols, it does make it seem like it's a simpler process, but God did say wiser yet weaker, right? And so they have that sense, a good amount of sense, but then they're missing that strength to be able to endure. So if it's not an overnight sensation, that's the weekend, because endurance is what gives you strength, right? So if he said wiser yet weaker, he means that you have a concept because you were built for your time. That's the wiseness in it. No matter how wise we think we are. What happened? Oh, yeah. We live. You got the kids. We live. They're out of school today. I'm like, what just happened? Somebody about to get cussed out somewhere. Right. Yo, because that's what, Ron was feeling right into the generations get wiser but weaker. Like Ron is just saying, right?
They smarter, but they can't take when it's not going good. They don't have the endurance. Yeah. Like you're saying, they don't. They're wiser, but it's a microwave world. So they don't know to get it from the bottom up. It's so fast, and if it ain't fast, they world is shattered.
Right. Because back then they would say it was an overnight sensation, and you look and you be like, was nothing overnight about what it took here. So you got the endurance now, right? Now it is an overnight sensation because you can literally post your first video and it can go viral. That definitely can be an overnight sensation, right? So we're only talking about the possibility because back then nobody was overnight. I'm just saying. Today that would be a thing. It may not be everybody, but it is a lot more people that it can happen for with this
day and age.
With this day and age than ever before. It wasn't even possible to be an overnight sensation because you had to still get here. You had to jump on. You got to go to this location. You can just pop up on that thing and reach everybody in the world. Yes, you had to get around. You had to put yourself out there, right? And so, it is different. It is different. So generations being wiser but weaker, it makes sense now because you only gain strength from doing. God knew that we would get into a level of where the doing would be faster because mindsets was making us way more digital. So you'll be more advanced. So the doing would get done. But the being you can't skip over. And so we didn't realize that the being came from the doing. So if we ain't doing, then it's hard to be that being. So that level of integrity and all of that grit that gets knocked off of you in the process, they miss out on because we're modernized and it's microwavable. And it's not their fault. It is the world they was built into, right? But it's the guidance of us giving and sharing and being one and teaching them and growing and making it a community like that relay race, right? That we don't miss them because then they take our skill and we take their skill and then we create.
Combine it together to be a force.
A value, right? Because the value is in us coming together as a community, right? So I think that's it. Okay. So what is that?
Jacob says, how many Proverbs 31 women do we have left in society? The Proverbs 31 woman pursues the wisdom of God instead of the wisdom of the world. The P31 woman is not concerned with what seems right according to the world. Instead, she focuses on God's truth. Her biggest desire is to honor God. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts and opinions?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something. They're not concerned with what seems right according to the world. The Proverbs 31 woman. All right, Jacob. They pursued the wisdom of God instead of the wisdom of the world.
I mean, right. That's how it used to be, right? But everybody is going for self-gratification, right? Before it was like for his glory. Now it's for our glory. It was for you being the evidence of the story. Now it's about how you see it, right? And how they see you. That's why I said people will be so concerned about what the world thinks, but I'm like, but God sees you everywhere. So I never understood that growing up when I was understanding God. Because I'm like, well, I mean, you think that he only see you at the church? He see you wherever you go. So you spread him, and that's why to be holy is to be true and true from your whole being, right? That means that I am who I am, and in order for me to change who I am, I first have to acknowledge it, right? So to be holy is to be truthful through your whole being. Like this is me. I accept me, I embrace me, because only then can I do the changes. Because in order to sell or get rid of something, you have to take ownership. So that which you never own, you never have the rights over to destroy or sell or get rid of, right? And so ownership is the name of the game. And so a lot of times the new Proverbs women, right, have been lacking self-esteem, lacking gratification, feeling used and abused. And so they're getting a gratification for self from the external thing, right? When it's an inside job. But it will require you to acknowledge self to do the inside work, right? As long as I can, that's why I say comparison is the thief to gratefulness. Because if I'm comparing how she look and what she's getting, I'm comparing how he look and what he getting, then I'm missing the whole point. Because you can't make yourself look the part. You got to be the part. And so the getting in a relationship with God allows you to see you at a new level. It allows you to trust yourself through the process. So like I said, it is hard, but that's the new idols, right? The new idols are boss bees, right? That's what they say. We the boss. Like everybody's calling themselves bees left and right. I'm like, when did this happen? Even Queen, even corporate America is like, yeah, girl, I'm a boss bitch. I'm like, you know what a bitch is? It's not a nice thing. And how we take it in like it's something to be grateful for or to have gratitude for, to call yourself a female dog is beyond me. But that's what I'm saying. What are the modern idols teaching us that makes it okay? That I can't even blame it on the kids no more, because your mamas and y'all moving like that too. Nobody is checking bad behavior. You are adapting to it. So while they may be wiser and weaker, what are we? We trying to transcend too? Like, I mean, what happened to leadership? We lost leadership because everybody want the dollar bill. And you see people get into it, but you don't know what it's costing them. So a lot of times we see what they get, but we don't know the cost. And many of us can't pay to be the boss.
And really understanding the cost, like, I mean, yeah, being wiser, not weaker, like really being able to go through being an entrepreneur.
Ron Paul, and not all, but a lot of them. I guess he's saying generations get wiser but weaker.
Because there's a difference between being an entrepreneur and a boss. A boss has workers. A boss has people that runs the company for them. You ain't no boss if you're the only one running your business, okay? Period. You are entrepreneur. There's wording.
Period. Good morning, cousin.
So you running yourself in the ground as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I know it's Chef Ron birthday.
Boss, bitch, you got to get it together and have your people in place to help run the business. That's a business owner.
Yeah.
So
that part. So hey, Tweety. This conversation.
Good morning, lady. Hey, Tamika. Good morning.
Hey. It's Chef Ron's birthday, y'all.
Yes. Say happy birthday.
Somebody say happy birthday to Chef Ron.
Let's light it up in the chat. Say happy birthday.
Today,
shout them out, y'all. Come on, Chef Ron in the house. Say happy birthday. Somebody getting older. Come on now. Catching me. Woo.
He'll never catch you.
Them 40s, I know. Well, we right behind.
The way life is set up, he'll never catch you.
We right behind me. Like, come on, cuz.
He'll be running behind you, but he'll never catch you.
Oh, my goodness. Right. Come on, Tweety, get your ticket for Saturday, girl. You got your ticket.
You got your ticket? Y'all got y'all ticket? I hope y'all all got y'all ticket. If y'all in the Charlotte area, y'all don't want to hear about the comedy show.
Because we're going to be talking about it and laughing on the
floor. I know.
Listen,
Monday, I know it's going to just be a hot topic because we're not taking nothing serious.
After,
Oh, yeah. Then it's the after party after the comedy show.
It ain't no tomorrow.
So, yeah. You know, Kia Hunting. Ain't nobody party like Kia. Let me tell y'all. Don't nobody party like Kia. My hips just start moving when I say Kia. I'm gonna sit down dance. Y'all see how good I look sitting down?
Do them shoulders, girl. Do them.
I got them shoulders, honey. I got them shoulders. I said my shoulders are soulful shoulders.
Look at them shoulders.
As long as I ain't standing up, I look like I be getting it.
You will rock it out in that chair, okay?
What does Jacob say about the Proverbs man?
Oh Lord, now we on the man. Okay, come on, Jacob. The Proverbs 31 man is a rare breed and his mission is different. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thought to his steps. All right. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is half-headed, hot-headed, and reckless. Okay. That fool is hot-headed and reckless.
That part.
A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts? Oh, yeah, crafty man is definitely hated because he's using his gifts and talents to create.
Well, you know, I think I would say maybe not hate as much as envy because, like I said, it's hard for people to do the difference. And also, a foolish man is sometimes envied by the what's the other man he was saying?
The crafty man?
The crafty man. Okay. The foolish man is even sometimes hated by the crafty man because God take care of who? Fools and babies. And sometimes a crafty man who is using all of his gifts, that's why they had to do like Job, right? How into me are you, right? Because the foolish man will be covered. Like if God is taking care of the fools and the babies, right? Until you, when you know better, you're going to do better. Then that crafty man who is doing everything right, you're like, well, why he keep on being blessed? Because the word says he'll take care of fools and babies. So God himself won't come down to take care of nobody. He uses us, right? That just means that the people who are crafty are the ones who's taking care of the children. And the fools are the false idols. But he's still covering them because everybody gets a moment to wake up and change. He's just waiting, will this be the day you choose to be the better you, right? Because we all came through the process. And that's why it is to see a foolish man. The envy is the crafty man has to see the foolish man and create a bridge, right? Because let me tell you something. I used to be a fool because every crafty man was a fool. He had to learn from his mistakes in order to be able to see it the way he see it, right? You had to go through the distance. Everybody has a price of admission. Nobody is exempt. That is point blank, period. And so for me, you look crafty because why? Because of your F. The foolish man looks foolish because of his F. Because fear will breed complacency, paralyzed, right? When I'm paralyzed, I can't move. That's what fear does. But faith brings desire. It brings intention. It brings a certain belief system to evolve into your best self. And so God said, I'm going to take care of the fools so that the ones that are crafty can take care of my children. And then eventually the fools will be grateful and they'll come over because that's the lost sheep. A fool ain't nothing but a lost sheep. So they all matter. So he said, if I can make you crafty enough to inspire him, not with what you have, but who you are, because when you tell your story, he gets past the glory, but he hears that you were once a fool. The problem is nobody wants to talk about when they was a fool. Everybody want to act like they arrived at the door, and we all was a fool. And because God has grace for the space, we became crafty in our foolishness. It's a drug dealer become lawyer.
Lord Jesus.
Ex-con become speaker to the kids. Like, I used to be in the streets, but I'm telling you, you don't want to go my way. Can you see? The fool becomes he becomes an agent of change. Because he went through. And then he came out proud of his story, not ashamed. Because you got to remove the shame and get in your lane to be crafty. You got to know that it happened to me. It ain't me. I get to do something different. So when you think about it like that, I think it's like we all have a responsibility. The question is, are you a fool right now or are you a crafty man? What are you now? What the F is your mustard seed now? So to each his own though, right? To each his own. Here we got them happy birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Oh, Tamika said I can't make it. Oh, we gonna miss you, girl. But you know I got something for my little cousin. You know she got something for you. Look at that. Happy birthday, Earth Day, sun and love. Be blessed and enjoy. Here's your love, baby.
Right.
Come
on now.
Hallelujah. I know them claps when I see them.
Clapping hands, honey. Them clapping hands.
Mama was
clapping. The fool and the crafty man, honey. Turning them into the crafty man.
So I mean, it's called the steps, right? Because you're a fool until you become a Proverbs. Right. Every fool is a crafty man inside of them. Inside of a crafty man inside of them. Because as he said earlier, it's that you choosing to bring out. What work are you doing? Are you choosing to be today? So would you be considered a good modern idol right now for our time? So when we're talking about, do we think our kids is a modern idol good or bad? The question is, how do you show up? How do you level up, right? Because we can talk about the influencers who are taking the attention. We can talk about the new Instagram models and the new bodies everybody's getting. But the question is, where do you stand in the being seen? What is your message? How are you combating the idea that they got the wrong impression? Are you becoming the new impression? Are you impressing upon them what you know from your experience? How transparent are you? Because I'm going to tell you, the streets get them because they keep it real. Church folk leave them because we keep it real funky and phony. Right? You so Christian that you forgot that God had to welcome you into it too. That you was crying on the floor. Because you like, God, if you save me this time, I promise I won't never do that again. But you don't say what they saved you from. You won't say no. What you crying for? Why you always? Because he's so good. No, this word said how good he is. Why is he so good? What makes him so good to you? Tell your story, Mama. Why you always crying and falling out on the why every time he say, well, if he wanted coming up, you the first. You always go, what is that about, Mama? And you guys say, baby, let me tell you. Let me tell you my story. Your mama was an old hoe. Come on now, really? Your daddy was a pimp. Come on now, tell a story. Your auntie was just out here. Let me know you ain't perfect. And when you be telling me these things, it ain't coming from, because I'm looking at you like. Yeah. I can never be that person. Why are you the way you are? Yeah. What makes you the person you are? And so explain that part. Have a conversation with me. Don't just tell me. Right? Don't talk at me. Conversate with me. Yes. That part. So that being that modern idol, I think it could be a good or a bad thing. Depends on who's looking. It depends on what you're giving or what they understand by what you're giving, right? Because if you go fix everything without the conversation, they'll just think you wasn't enough, right? So the conversation makes it make sense. So it's like sometimes you have to have the hard conversations with your community, right? Because if everybody took care of themselves, what would there be left to do? Nothing. So the problem is we're so busy looking instead of internalizing it, what it looks like for us. And so that's why God says to love your neighbor as you have first loved yourself, because it starts and ends with you. And so how you see you, that's how they will see you too, right? And so if those are the things you're working on and you don't even know why, then how can they understand? And what kind of model or idol are you if you don't even know your why? If you don't even know why you're doing it and you can't explain it, but yet you're giving examples and you're a representation of something that you don't even understand. And so life is about understanding, right? God said, make the right division and make it plain. That's your blueprint. And so it's like, wow, I went from here to here to here, and this is who I am. And so to be the good modern idol is to go through the steps that it costs you to be the boss. And when you calling yourself a boss, it's because of that work ethic. It was because of all that, those other stuff. It's not because that you don't need a man. is because you understand what it is to be a great partner, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's seizing the right understanding of it. You need to have power, because if you're going to be a backbone of a man, you need to be bossed up, because you got to be strong,
right, and confident, and all that is chalked up to be is confident, strong, like, you know,
enthusiastic, and just, I mean, it's you could inspire yourself,
right?
So I don't want to take away from
the words.
The words are powerful, and how we use them is the power that they hold, and how we understand them is how we use them. See that? So in that order, so it's like we gotta know what we're saying, what we're doing. We gotta realize that life ain't microwavable, and if it is microwavable, is how do we get as much in it as they flowing? How can we throw something into that, because they are moving fast, right? So how can I make sure I can sprinkle a little bit of my salt, because they cooking fast? They cooking real fast, y'all. Real fast.
That's right there.
Right? And so that whole long term, it ain't long term, baby, because it's the world they are in. So we got to accept that it is the world they're in. How do we combat the world that they're in? That all it takes is as much light as there can be no darkness. So like I said, it's not a color, it's not a statue, it's light versus dark. Because you could be without resources and have a huge heart, and you could be with resources and have a huge heart. So y'all still fall into the light category. You can be with resources and have a bad heart. You can be without resources and have a bad heart, right? You can have darkness around you, right? So it's nothing but light versus dark. But one thing for sure is that both can't exist in the same place. And guess what wins every time? If dark and light is in the same place, guess what gets demolished? Darkness. The light is going to win every single time.
Right. Yep. It's like having confidence and low self-esteem. It's like you have this on one end, but they can't coexist. One got to outshadow the other.
Yep.
So you definitely want that confidence to come out more than the low self-esteem.
Definitely.
Can't have a bad, you want it to overshadow it. So
that part. So listen, that's what life is all about. So it's like, what kind of idols do we have? Who's influencing our children? Do we know who their influences are now?
Who's influencing you?
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, we talking about the children, but think about you. Who's influencing you when you're on social media? Who are you looking at to be a better person? Or who are you looking at to be like, they are inspiring me, right? What are we looking at on social media? What takes our attention? Like when we're on social media, what is taking up our attention on it? What are we attracting to? You know what I mean? That we putting inside of ourselves. So it's interesting to even think about that.
I think I have a poem. What is it? I think it's America Has a Hole in Your Soul.
Ooh, America, child. Because I'm like, just think about it. It's like taking advantage of social media while it's here. What if, we ain't had social media. So, I mean, imagine if social media gets shut down. You going to be a boss bitch then? Viral? Ain't no viral. Right? It's like, y'all better get out there and network. Went from here to somebody else seeing my talent and seeing and be like, oh, could you come here?
No, but you know what? I wouldn't say that because, I'm a viral girl, honey. I wish I didn't have to go nowhere.
No. I was saying, what if, like, just they talking about boys bitch and I'm going to go viral. What if we didn't have social media? Like back in the day, you had to go out on foot and make yourself known.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that it don't still exist because you want to intertwine with people. You don't want to just be a house hermit. Like, you know what I mean? But you got to have that balance. You got to
have the balance.
But don't think that it's just going to be like that, like forever. That's the endurance. You know what I mean?
So, and understand that when you have access to these numbers is what you're saying. I think God wants it because Jesus could get around. Yahshua, he can make the world. It's take advantage. That's why it's a choice. It's a gun could save somebody or it could kill somebody. It's who's holding it. So the internet, for me, is an amazing piece of thing because I can be global. There are people from Africa that respond. I haven't even put a stamp on my passport, but it's the intention behind the system that you're using.
And who are you idolizing?
And who are you?
Yes.
Who are you influencing to become behind you, to walk behind you? How are you influencing them with your power, right? With what God gave you. So I think it's important to recognize that it's amazing, right? It's going to keep on growing because they taking over, right? We're going into a digital world, so that whole brick and mortar is out. So they have the access to never even see your face and influence you. People are influencing your kids and they never even met them. People got kids wanting to kill themselves because of what they see, right? So what I'm saying is that it's there. It's going to be there. It's actually not going anywhere. It's actually growing exponentially. The question is, how are you showing up on the platform to make a difference? Because just as many dark people are there, they can be light. But if the lights show up more than the dark, then we would outstand even on the internet. But there's not enough people like, oh, I don't got nothing to say. Yes, you got something to say. You always got something to say. So say it where it counts. Say it where people are listening. Take advantage of the opportunity. So you could be like, oh, I'm shy to go out. I don't do this. So there's no excuses no more. Everybody's not people. They just not. They don't got it. But you can still stay here and make a difference because most of those things that are influence your kids, they've never met them. That means it's this. They don't know them. They haven't met them from anywhere. You are influenced because other people are watching you sharing. So that's the way of the world. So we ain't going to be able to separate that. But we can be intentional about how we show up on these platforms.
Being idol
right
in today's world.
That part.
Using the tools and the things that we didn't have back then, which is social media. So if you're on social media, make sure that you know that people are watching you. Right? And be a positive influence for it, right? But even though if you are making money like that and went viral, give the encouragement to be like, it's not gonna happen like that all the time, but this is what happened with me. And be persistent with what you're doing because eventually you will gain more people to follow you and listen to what you're saying. It's about what you're saying on social media, not like, because this is give your story, but give the steps on what to keep doing, right? Because people are watching you. So use it to your advantage because we talking about modern icons, right? Be the modern icon that other people are looking at for their growth and development. So definitely take advantage of it.
So I was looking, I'm like, okay, here we go. Holding your soul. 5, guys, okay, 32. No, I had something in my original book.
All right, y'all.
We're going to do this poem because we have 52. Then we're going to do a card. And we may just sing the anthem. Because it's the idolship we need to be putting out. So it's Holding Your Soul. It's in Precious Thoughts from the Soul. If you happen to have it on page 32. It says, America has a hole in your soul for your yearning to see in everyone else what you wish you could be. We are so caught up in an image that our self-esteem is losing the race. For we are searching everywhere but in the mirror to see our face. Yes, our face, the person who God's breathed life in from day to day. We're so caught up in others' images that we can't find our own way. We are not being taught to embrace and love whom we are. And the impact is making us lose ourselves by far. Who am I, you ask? I don't even know. Because I'm struggling with this hole I have embedded in my soul. You ask, what's the hole that I speak about? It's the insecurities we embrace and our whole being that we doubt. Why am I so skinny, so fat, so ugly, and so misused? I've been lied about, molested, so hurt to the point I want to walk in your shoes. There is a hole in my soul, and you ask, how could this be? But the answer is so simple because I've never had anyone validate me. You see, youth are losing their innocence at a very young age. And the outcome of this is sending their spirit into rage. Now, days after the hole in their soul is getting bigger, and all it is doing is making them pull the trigger. Pulling the trigger on their hopes and dreams and values of their life. And they are filling the hole with lost inhibitions and the pain of all their strife. America's got a hole in your soul, and only God can heal your heart. And all he asks is for your true self, and he can grant you a brand new start. So the hole in your soul can only be filled when you begin to love who God created you to be, because you will never find yourself if you are ashamed of what you see. Tell yourself every day that you're special and in God's image there is no one like you. And never forget to be true to yourself in everything you do. So now this poem I wrote so many years ago, because this book was from 2007. So I wrote this. This is my first book of poetry. Well, my first book ever. And I wrote this in 2007. It came out. So I wrote it. It was a year of writing because it was snail mail back then. This ain't on Amazon. So that's why it's a limited edition. I got very few. I have to bring it back out. But I do have a couple of them still on site. But that's how constant the message didn't change. This poem is over, how old am I now? 42? So you're talking about over 15, 20 years ago.
Ooh,
the
America
hole in your soul.
There's a hole in their soul.
So at the end of the day, it's like we're so busy imitating everybody instead of being the best that we can be. And so God wants you to know that you are enough. And so you become the might and idol that the world needs to see. You are enough. Without you, there is no them. Everybody owns a space and a place. Everybody has a story in order to give God the glory. You could have been a lost sheep, and now it's time to get a sheep that could relate to you, right? Because relationship is relating so the ship can move. Here we go with the ship again. There's the ship again, right? So we got to relate so that the ship can move. And so when we think about the hole in our soul, if I'm comparing to what I don't have, I'm not relating. Right? So when you tell your story, somebody gets to relate to God's glory because you're the evidence of the promise attached to the process. But as long as they're looking at your promise and you never told them about the process, then that's where the mission gets lost, because the mission is in you giving them permission to see how worthy they are because God saw worth in you. So be the evidence, tell your story, and then we change the false idols into real idols because the idol is you. You're the one that got up 1,000,000 times. You're the one that suffered that thing and still came up. You're the one who is the example, yet we letting the world tell everybody who God is. God is you. God is me. It's all of us. As I often say, he's so powerful that he couldn't give a piece of him to one of us. So he gave a little part of him to each of us. And I call that a God piece. And that's how we make up the big picture of God, because everybody gets a piece, and every piece is designed with you in mind. And so imagine putting a puzzle together and one piece is missing. As I say, I don't care if it's the sun in the sky or the dirt in the ground. When you look at that puzzle and that one piece is missing, you would tear that whole house up to get to complete that 1,000,000,000 piece puzzle, right? Because you are dedicated to it. That's how God feels when he looks at us. He's thinking, you got a piece. I know you got a piece. I took you through those broken pieces so you can get peace. So I know you got a piece. And so God is looking at you like, would you please, will there be one? Will there be one to show their peace? Will there be one idol for my kids to see? Can we eliminate all the foolishness and give them one? Will it be you? And so I think that acknowledging is accepting that we are all made in his image, each and every last one of us. And the choices we make is what shines up the peace that belongs to us. And so we go through imperfect things to become a perfect peace. So PIEC becomes PEAC when you learn how to use what God gave you, okay? So turn your peace into peace by picking up the broken pieces. Okay. And that's our word for today.
Goodness. That part right
Mama
there.
Faye says all his pieces function like the parts of the body. Come on now.
All of them.
Because we all of us matter. All of us matter. He has no respect of persons. He respects the person who respects the person he created.
Brings their peace,
and that's you.
To complete the puzzle.
That part. So let's get our card for the day. That's all I got to say. Make sure you get your tickets for the comedy show so we can laugh together.
Tickets.
We can laugh together. Celebrate a real king.
Come on now.
Somebody, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
The
honey.
GOAT.
He is the GOAT. Okay.
Happy birthday, Chef Roz. This show is to you
Where
for
he
being an
at?
idol. Somebody that people could look up to.
Probably in the bed waiting for you to get home.
He could not be waiting again, honey. I was late because 5 o'clock date. 5 a.m. date got me. Listen, 5 a.m. date had me late to the show this morning. I didn't get till 9. I woke up like, I knew I should have set my alarm after 5. Look, thank you for this morning. He just laid over waiting for me to come back.
Thank you for this morning. Happy birthday, Ron.
Happy birthday. See, but wake him up out his sleep.
Come on now.
Had to wake him up out his sleep.
He resting. He like, all right, girl.
Because it's your birthday. Yay.
Somebody.
I know what you want for your birthday. You want to be woken up.
What you want, Ron?
We gonna pull this
Saturday is gonna be off the chain. I finally get to go to Upper Warning.
I can't wait
in my damn living room.
We such big kids. We can't wait for Saturday. We like it's about to be lit.
Come on now.
It's about to be lit.
You have some good people around you. You know we gonna have a good time, honey.
You know we gonna have a good
Love to
time.
laugh. Ready? Set.
I am unstoppable, and I am. Is that confident? Yes,
Yes,
it is. Come on now.
Oh, come on now.
Come on now.
Confident and unstoppable.
If that's not what we need to talk about.
What makes you unstoppable? Confidence, like we said.
The more confidence you have, the more effortlessly you'll move to your destiny, right?
Fearless you will be. Become fearless so that you can be unstoppable.
And get your what the F is your mustard seed faith or fear to assist you on the journey of celebrating the right F. Because we operate in both. Don't you tell yourself you don't. You do. You operate in both. And when you read this book, you're gonna definitely operate in both because you have a new way of looking at those Come F's. On now. Fear is no longer gonna be the fear you know it as. Come on now. You gonna have a new way to think about fear. I need y'all to really get this book because I'm telling you, it's life-changing. Fear will not be the way you know it as of today. You're going to forget escaping and rise. Forget escaping. We're not doing that no more. You better rise like the phoenix you are. Period. And it takes confidence to be unstoppable. And God said, I gave you everything you need. Remember, it's I choose me, hashtag no more excuses because you were born enough. You were built for the ride. So there is no need to feel like you are lacking because God said the confidence is what's going to stop you from lacking. But guess what? That confidence is going to stop you from stopping. That part. Right? Because when we get fearful, we're going to just be like, oh, we're going to stop right here. This is as far as I want to go. Honey, you want a highway with that new car when you're confident. You're going all the way. Top down. Confidence lets you top down. You drop the top on them. Drop that top. Even when it's raining, y'all. Because you don't give up because you're going to get your hair done again the next day. Come on now. You confident. I ain't running from the rain, honey. I ain't covering my head because I can get it done tomorrow. So I love it, y'all. Be unstoppable. Be unstoppable. Build that confidence. Be the idol God called you to be. Make the difference. Understand that your confidence and your ability to keep on going, your resilience is what makes you unstoppable, right? And so moving in that manner, oh my God, it sets a precedent that changes the world. You are a game changer. You are a world changer. And we're hoping these conversations are lighting your fire. So that you can be what your greatest desires. Whatever you want, you can have when you gain a confidence to remember that God made you unstoppable. He said yes. Surrender to the yes. Because what we always got to remember is that after he says yes, that is his permission for you to go on and do what he called you to do. So remember, I always tell the story about my grandma. When we asked her for a banana, when she said yes, first of all, we had to ask nicely, can we please have a banana? Please. Well, after she said yes, I have a whole word, I think it's a TED Talk that's after the yes, right? Because it was our responsibility. Grandma didn't stop what she was doing to go get us that banana. It was our job to go back to where we saw it at and go get it because she gave us permission. So all you need is permission from God. And the rest he gives you ability to go get. So as long as you can see it, you can ask for it. The minute you ask for it, he say, yes. My God, I think they got it.
You have
go
not,
off and be great.
Not.
Period. And so every time we ask, because we saw it, even though grandma had 50 grandkids, she said yes. And even if she had to cut one banana 10 times, the yes still, that one little bite was enough for each of us in the moment. Because all we heard was yes. So he's saying yes to you today. So I just hope that you would take that yes and become who God called you to be, which is the idol that the kids need to see. It all relies on you, and you got what it takes. So we love you.
Love you
we
guys.
Love you. So remain unstoppable and confident.
That part.
Because the world needs your peace. And I mean P-E-A-C-E.
So you could get that P-E-A-C.
That part.
Get your peace.
Get your peace.
Get that P-E-A-C.
So, as always, it is a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what you got right, and what God got right is you. So remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. Remember, it's the measurement in which you are able to respond. Everybody has one. So don't forget to be confidently unstoppable with the right F. And last but not least, happy birthday, Ron Paulin.
Happy birthday,
We love you. This show is dedicated to you.
We love you for supporting us every day on the show, giving us topics, engaging with us. Yes, all of the conversation, all of your engagement. We love you. You are the GOAT. I just love the man that you are, and just can't wait to turn up with you Saturday, have a drink with you today. Yes, honey. Love you, man.
We love you, and we just want to say life is so much better because you showed up. Let me tell you, you have changed my life in so many ways. So 23 years later of knowing you, 21 years of marriage, I'm telling you, you know what you want and you go get it and you keep it. So thanks to you, I'm a kept woman. 5 kids later in marital bliss, it was the best decision I ever made. Never rethought it, never, not once. And so I lift you. I say thank you. I don't think any other man could have handled me the way you do, honey. You have carried me. You have molded me. You have loved me. You have supported me. You have allowed me to trust man again. You are by far the king of my life, and I love you. And I just want to say, see you later. You've been tuned in to Coffee and Conversations. Don't forget to wake up and make today count.
Love you guys.
We'll see you
in the morning.
He got me all water.